Hello, y'all. What's up? I'm back at it. Gonna continue my tale of my kitties. And this one's gonna be a little more difficult. When I ended my last video, it was just me, Socks, and Lovey down here. And that was in 2018. So, seeing as my marriage was in shambles and nothing really seemed to be getting any better, even though I was trying to repair the damage done and fix things, nothing was really happening. So I filed for divorce in 2019. My divorce became final on May 9th, I believe, of 2019. And Tim started making trips down to Florida to scout out places to live and go on interviews because he was going to move down there. Now, it's 2019. Belden was 17 years old. Socks was 17 years old. Smokey and Lucy were both 15 years old. Jet and Onyx were 9 years old, and Lovey was 7, I believe. So, I mean, we had these cats together for a long time. And, in the time that I had been down here, they had really gotten used to him and gotten used to being with him. And I told when he started looking for places, his original intention was to take the cats with him. Unfortunately, the place he ended up renting was a very exclusive house that he wasn't really renting the house. He was renting a room in the house, and the house was up for sale, so he would, upkeep the place and let the realtors in to show it and all of that kind of stuff, so there were no pets allowed. So when he made the choice to move, he knew he would be leaving the cats. I told him, I said, moving the cats to Florida was a risky idea, period, because of the age of them. But I also told him on the flip side of that, I said, if you move and leave them, they will have side effects from that. I was like, it will affect them just like, a regular child that loses a parent. Onyx, stop. You don't bite me. So I warned him of, the fact that it would definitely adversely affect the cats and their health. But, he made the choice to do it anyway. So in June of 19, he moved, and I had to figure out how to integrate 5 more cats into a house with a senior cat that did not like other cats. So first off, I brought Belden down because, he was 17. He needed constant supervision. So I brought him down first. After that, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 days later, I think I brought Lucy down, I think. A few days later, I brought Jet and Onyx down, and then finally I brought Smokey down. Smokey was one of the easiest and, super chill cats that we had. She would get used to anything super quick and, made friends with everybody. So I didn't worry about her too much. So, within a month, I get them all down here and integrated into the house. But, the cats, they missed him. They missed him a lot. I'm sure at the beginning they, I know they were unhappy because he was gone, but I think they really thought that he'd be back. And then that didn't happen. And then Belden started having issues. There ended up being a time that he couldn't walk, couldn't do anything, and the doctors weren't sure at first what the problem was, and then when I took him for a checkup, I had noticed he was kind of messing with one of his ears, and I was like, is it possible he's got an ear infection? And sure enough, that's what it was, and it was throwing his balance off, so he couldn't walk and couldn't do anything. So once we got the ear infection under control, he was able to recover, but he was definitely not the same. He was always about a 15-pound cat. He was good size. By the beginning of December, he had lost half his weight, if not a little more. And he started really going downhill. He couldn't groom himself. He started having problems being able to use the restroom on his own. So, I did everything I could to keep him clean. He had on the 15th of December, he had some runny bowel movements, and he was just kind of overall dirty, so I gave him a very, very warm bath and, dried him off, wrapped him in the towel, put him in the cat bed we had, and I had it right by the food and water. And my youngest son ended up calling me, and as I was talking to Jonathan, I checked on Belden, and he was dead. He went quick that day. It was just, I was talking to Jonathan. I had been walking around talking to Jonathan for 10-15 minutes, and I came back and to check on Belden, and he was just gone. And I just wailed into the phone that Belden was dead. And I had to get off the phone with Jonathan. I called Christopher, I called Tim to let them know what had happened, that Belden was gone. And the first thing Tim did was blame me. Why, what did I bring into the house that would cause the deterioration of him so quickly? Why did his health go downhill so quickly? What did I do? What did I bring in the house? Who was down visiting? I mean, it was just accusation after accusation, and I was already blaming myself anyway, which is what I do. So that really wasn't making it any better. The vet told me that it was partly his age, but also partly, it was also partly depression that made his health deteriorate so fast. When it finally sank in that Tim wasn't coming back, it really affected Belden, because he had been Tim's buddy for 17 years, and now the man was gone. The other cats, of course, well, other than Socks, even though I think she did mourn him somewhat, but all the other cats definitely felt his loss. Now Smokey, she was always a 10-12 pound cat, but after she came down here, she tolerated me, but she was more of Tim's cat. So she really did not seek me out for attention very much. Um, so, I would see her, but she would not really come up to get any affection from me. So when I did see her, it was more in passing from, her coming to get some food or going to the litter box or something. And the beginning of the new year, I ended up scooping her up one day before she could scamper away from me. And she had drastically lost weight. During our entire time with her, she always threw up her food. It wasn't every time she ate, but she always held a good weight, even though she would throw up all the time. And the doctors could never figure out what the problem was. So it was just something we lived with. And, I knew she had been eating. I had seen her eating. I had seen her drinking. But when I picked her up, she had lost a lot of weight. So I immediately got an appointment and took her to the vet. This was the first week of January of 2020. I called the boys, I called Tim and let them know that Smokey was not doing well. And immediately Tim starts accusing me of neglecting them, and why didn't I notice the changes, and why didn't I this, why didn't I that, which I was already berating myself for not having paid better attention. I am disabled, and I went from having 2 cats to having 7 cats to look after, and honestly, I was not prepared for that. I literally did the best I could with all of them, and I didn't neglect them. She ended up having kidney issues and thyroid issues, and then she also had sugar issues with her glucose levels. The vet recommended that I let them keep her to try and stabilize her because, she was going downhill quick. So I did. That was on the 7th of January. On the 8th, she seemed to be doing a little bit better. Her sugar was coming up and everything, but later that evening, she took a dive again. And on January 9th, they told me she had died. So I had to break it to my kids and Tim again that another one of our girls was gone. And Tim immediately starts attacking me and blaming me, which I was already doing. And I told him, I said, look, I'm already berating myself enough. I can't deal with you doing it. If you don't have something nice to say, I'm done. And I just kind of cut off contact with him for a while because I couldn't handle my own guilt, much less him adding on to it. So, you know, here it was within 3 weeks. I had lost 2 cats. And Socks, from the time Daddy had passed, Socks, of course, kept losing weight as well. And right after Smokey died, Socks started having issues. Right around the 21st, 22nd of January, Chris and Steph came out to spend time with me. And Socks was going downhill fast, just like the others. And on the 25th of January, with Chris and I beside her, giving her love, she died. She was my dad's cat. And I felt like I was losing another piece of my dad all over again. So after she passed, I became hypervigilant with everybody else. And our girl Lucy, she was always a pudgy girl. When we first got her, she ate every bit of food we put in front of her, and she went from being this tiny little kitten to being a 14-pound pudge. And that's when I noticed she was losing weight. She had been playing a lot after I moved her down here, which was unusual for her. So when she started slimming down a little bit, it didn't worry me. But after what happened to Belden, Smokey, and Socks, when I noticed she was really had lost more weight, I got her to the vet. This was the beginning of February that year of 2020. And I got her into the vet, and they told me that she had thyroid issues, but she also had kidney issues. She kept getting dehydrated. So I would have to spoon feed her baby food, the meat paste baby food, to give her all the protein possible so I could get her weight stabilized. And I would have to use a bag of saline with an IV needle attached to it and give her fluid subcutaneously. And she had, I kept her with me 24/7. I slept with her on my chest. I hand fed her. I made sure she was hydrated enough. I battled for 2 weeks with her. But on the 16th of February, she died. So in a 2-month time frame, I lost 4 of my cats. And I blame myself for every one of those losses. Even though I didn't do anything wrong, and I have accepted the fact that I didn't do anything wrong. I took care of them the best I could. And I made sure they were loved. It's just between regular age and depression, first off over the change and losing Tim, and then the subsequent depression that hit the others after Belden died. It all compounded. And the vet assured me there was nothing I did wrong. I couldn't have changed it. But right after that, I got absolute thorough checkups on my remaining 3 cats, Jet, Onyx, and Lovey. And they are absolutely fat, healthy, and happy. Thank God. Jet and Onyx have really missed Smokey. They used to sandwich her. It would look like an Oreo cookie. They would be Jet on one side, then Smokey, and then Onyx on the other side of Smokey, and it would look like an Oreo cookie. And they really missed her. And it was, I didn't have time to grieve for Belden before everything else hit. So my depression got even more severe because I didn't know how to cope with losing one of them, much less 4 of them in 2 months. These were cats I had known for so long. And it hurt so much to lose them. But I gave them all the love I had. And I gave them everything I possibly could. It was just circumstances beyond my control, unfortunately. That was over 2 years ago that this all happened. And I miss them all to this day, but I focus on my girls that I've got. And they are healthy, happy girls, and I will do everything in my power to make sure they stay that way, because God knows I don't want to lose them. I know I will one day, but not anytime soon. Jet and Onyx are 12. I think Lovey's 10. So I've got, quite a few more good years with these girls. And I'm just trying to make sure they're as happy and healthy as they can be. So I'm not even sure I've fully healed from losing all 4 of them in such a short time frame, but I certainly don't dwell on it all the time, because I really do focus on giving these 3 all the love I can, even if they are boogers. But I love them with all my heart, and they make me laugh, so I'll do anything I have to for them. I'm done. I'm getting a headache from crying so much, so I am going to end this video. I thank you for watching, and I hope y'all have a great night. Remember, I love y'all. Bye.